Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday. After last week's trip to the locations of the American Werewolf in London, check my videos to see how that went. We're back home. The weather is nice. I'm back in the nerve centre, or the centre of nerves. It's a lovely sunny day outside. I'm doing my best to remain positive, even though we're still in lockdown and I'm still not really seeing anybody. On a regular basis, kind of, visitors and stuff. So I'm doing the making strides in the diet and exercise. I'm eating less takeaways and stuff, and I'm getting the cross trainer on the go that I paid for. Now, I'm not an expert on diet and exercise, as you can probably tell. And I've, as usual, got too much work on, which I'm not complaining about too much. I've just had my new council tax bill for the year at 90 quid a month, even with the 25% one person discount thing. It's still a lot. Do you know what? It's not so much the rent that cripples you. I think it's the council tax. 90 quid a month. I know some people probably pay more, I'm just saying. But I'm a one-man band, I don't have anyone else bringing money in, it's just me. So there's my whinge about that. I got some little projects to do. These are just fun things. I will cut to that in a sec. The 3D printer is currently not doing anything. It needs to be doing something while I can afford the electricity. I need to finish printing Marvin's arms. And also get to work on Marvin's thighs. They're modelled, but they haven't been printed. It's one of those things now. I think it's getting the novelty of a 3D printer is kind of worn off. Now it's a case of I've got to go through the whole setting up procedure and a couple of failed prints before it prints properly. There's always something. A lot of people, if you're thinking of getting a 3D printer, no matter what your budget is, no matter what printer you get, don't think, I'll plug this in and stuff will just fly out of it. No, it is literally like having a newborn baby. It's complicated. It doesn't communicate with you. You leave it for 2 seconds, it makes a mess. You've got to leave it all night, but when it goes quiet, you start panicking because it's too quiet. And there are constant battles with it to get it to do stuff. You've got to kind of look after it, and you've got to maintain it, and you've got to. It's a big commitment, basically. But that said, when it does work, it does make you happy. So like when kids leave school and get their first job, it's a relief. So yeah, that's the 3D printer that needs to do stuff. What else? My book, my children's book, Monsters Next Door. It's on Instagram at monsters.next.door, and on Facebook as Monsters Next Door. This was literally a spur of the moment thing. I've been talking with my publisher for a long time about potentially doing a little book, because I've done loads of books and thought, I'd like to do one for myself and see how it goes. So I'm on page 13 of that now, 13 of 20, so it's nearly done. It's taking longer than a usual book because when you do a book for yourself, you're overly critical. So it does take longer to do things. And I say it's going quite well. I've got plans to have it in different languages. I've had a Finnish translation come through, which is fantastic, and it actually rhymes, which is no mean feat. Trying to rhyme very long Finnish words, over 20 pages. So thanks to Catty for that. I've got a Welsh translation on the way, in progress, and I've got a Swedish and German translation on the way. And I'm hoping for Norwegian and a couple of others. I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm paying for a print run of 100 books in English, which I can sell from where I am, and the other languages will probably go print on demand on Amazon, so they can go further afield, etc. If there's call for the book in different languages. Yeah, so that's all I'm up to at the moment. Diet, exercise, sleeping weird hours, a couple of projects, a couple of jobs on, which I should get going on the computer today. It's Saturday morning. The weather's decent. It's cold, but at least it's dry and bright. And I'm looking forward to possibly next month, when lockdowns are lifted a little bit more. I still don't think people could come round and visit, kind of thing. But I would like to be able to get out in the garden right in front of me. I'll show you the garden. There you go. You see the garden? There's my garden. I would like to get out there and tidy it up, do a little bit of digging, dig up all the horrible grass and tidy things up. And also work on a very, very big project, which I started before Christmas, which I haven't told anyone about. But it's a big project, so I need to be outdoors to do that. So at some point I will tell you about it, don't worry. And there's other things. Yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm rambling. I don't know if it's lockdown or whatever, but I sleep weird hours, I'm awake weird hours. It's very rare that I'm actually awake on a Saturday morning. Usually I'm sleeping because I've been up all night, etc. So yeah, I'm a little bit kind of discombobulated, so hence the rambling. Let's cut to some little projects that I'm doing, and I'll come back. Can't even remember what I said I was going to do last week, if you know what I mean. But I did want to show you what I've been up to. I don't know if I've showed you this before. It's my Action Man scale Cyberon. Not a Cyberman, a Cyberon. Yeah, based on my design for the 1999 or 2000 Doctor Who spin-off inspired movie Cyberon. So it's just basically an Action Man shaped figure. I bought a cheap 1/6 scale figure without a head. The suit itself is a vintage Action Man astronaut. 3D printed the hands, stuck some springs on and some wires. I've got a chest unit and a back unit to come. In fact, there's the back unit. Some greebly stuck to a battery box. And that's going to go on his back, something like that. And some more cables and wires. The head was 3D printed. And I think he looks rather nice. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about a similar project. I'm not really getting into customs, but something I've been wanting to do literally for decades. I thought about it years ago, never got round to it. And basically got myself a censor that. Got myself a modern day Action Man, which I think are awful. He can't get his arms at his sides. He's badly made. He's got a really wide neck. Look, his neck is his head's looking up. He can't, they're not very good figures, but he does have a nice serious expression compared to the old style Action Men. So I thought of getting one of these, gluing the joints in place, and make him into a Borg from the Next Generation. I specify the Next Generation as because I like them better than the modern Borg. Modern Borg have a lot more money spent on them, and they have mottled features and a lot more streamlined outfits. But the Next Generation Borg were done in a hurry, on a bit of a low budget. And there were guys in jumpsuits with a load of stuff and wires stuck to them all over the place, and they were very messy and scruffy, and I kind of liked that. So I got me Action Man. He came with little rubber booties, which I don't really like. So I bought a pair of boots online. They're same brand Action Man, but they're black rubber and they're trainers, and they look a lot more like Borg feet. So they should fit onto his tootsies quite well. You can't really see black against black. See that? So there's that. He's going to have to lose this horrible vest thing, which I don't know if I can. I might try cutting it up and using it as extra greeblies, but look, just get off. Yes, I know, 51 and playing with dolls. Could be into a lot worse. Sue me. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know if I can cut that up and use that into more of the costume. I may do. He's got a decent physique though, I'll give him that. He's got no shoulders whatsoever, and his arms don't go at his sides, so he's one of those macho lads that walks around in pubs unable to get his arms any closer to his sides. He's got this weird kung fu grip thing which doesn't really work. You bend the fingers in and they stay in, and then you press the button and it does that. But unfortunately it's really weak anyway. Interesting little thing about Action Men. Every Action Man, including the new ones and the very old ones, don't have a thumbnail on their right hand. Is there no thumbnail? Guess where the thumbnail is? It's on the inside of his thumb. Oh, you can just about see it there. This is nowadays it's a genuine conscious thing to do. This side, you can see he's got a thumbnail, okay? But on this side, the thumbnail's on the inside of the thumb. There was a mess up with one of the original Action Men molds, and somehow the thumbnail got moved to the inside of the thumb. And as a weird kind of trademark, they've kept it that way ever since. So this one follows suit with his weird kung fu grip that don't even work. Yeah, so his arms don't quite fit at his sides. I might even actually cut some of his lats off just to get his arms at his sides. This one, unlike some of the others, this one comes with a sort of flock fuzzy hair, which most of these modern Action Men, the 90s ones, have sculpted plastic hair that's just painted. But anyway, this one's got flock hair. I'm going to take that off, and now he looks like he's been in a fire accident. But basically, I got one of these little emery board things, and I basically thought I can just... and it works straight away. I can just actually sand his hair off. So I'm going to sand all his hair off. And in the post this morning, I got a little lycra jumpsuit for him. These are hard to get hold of. People in China wanted like 17 quid for one. I'm like, really? I don't know if this is going to fit. It should do. It should stretch. Yeah, it should be right. I might put it on back to front so the zip's at the back, much like the Cybermen. So that's our basic suit. And then I'm going to coat him in glue and just roll him over greeblies. No, I'm going to glue a load of greeblies on. So I get the old selfie stick. So, as you can see, there's a load of mechanical greeblies here. Most of these came from a 1950s film projector. And there's some remote control parts and some calculator bits, etc. I'm just laying them all out so I can see what I want to do with them. I need larger parts to cover his sort of chest and back. I'm thinking of things like this from a remote control. And then we got, you know, we need to make a big arm extension that the Borg always have. And I do have some cables and tubes that I've salvaged and kept hold of from other things. Yeah. So, the original Next Generation Borg were very boring in colour. Black undersuit, yeah, I think it was a black undersuit, and very little colour on the rest of him. They're mostly black with a white face, just grease paint slapped on the face, looking a bit like me actually, in black pasty. And as time went on, when you saw the Borg in the First Contact movie, they were streamlined, less cables going everywhere, a lot more, you know, prosthetics involved, and they got neater and neater as the time went by, and they got evolved into something a bit more organic looking. But I love the old-fashioned version that's got cables everywhere, and they look really unwieldy. And imagine a Borg be walking down a corridor and his cable will get snag on a door handle or something. It's really messy thing. So I'm basically going to get this guy. I don't like, look at the angle of that neck. He's got a massive neck, which is bigger than his actual circumference of his head, and kind of is leaning back like, So I might chop his head off, take a bit off the front of his neck there and put him on an angle and glue his head back on permanently, so he's leaning, his head's leaning forward a bit, you know, he's looking down rather than up. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna drill some holes in this guy's face as well, so I can get some cables in, get some wires in his face, make a headpiece for him, make a robotic eye out of either some greeblies, and I'm gonna get some milliput on the go. A lot of the Borg had Roman-style chest plates. They had these kind of sculpted abs. Now these abs aren't going to be seen once he's got his jumpsuit on. So I may have to get a piece of milliput or Sculpey or something and sculpt a basic ab plate that goes on top of the jumpsuit, and we can connect greeblies and wires and cables and all that to him. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll try and cover some of this process on video. But like I say, I'm getting a little bit kind of disillusioned with the whole show and tell videos because they take months to do, and I don't have the time really to kind of keep doing all that, and then a massive editing job later on. But suffice to say, I'll pop in every now and again with some views on what I've done to the guy. I'm probably going to glue all his joints together so he's standing still. I've kept this metal plate from the projector. Might make a good base. It's quite heavy, so I thought, oh, you can't see that. Could actually fix him to that so he's got a permanent stand, so he's not going to tip over every 2 minutes. I need to do that with the Cyberon as well, but he still needs his backpack, chest unit, hands painted, and maybe a little bit more. He's got a tail at the moment. A little bit more, some greeblies stuck on, but other than that, he's almost done. Right, yeah. So that's Custom Action Man Borg figure on the way. Okay, so that's the little projects I was talking about. Again, these are for fun, just because I think unless I'm working on little things for myself, and I've got the book, but you know, just little fun things that don't have any return, don't have anything other than the fun of doing them, and not getting too stressed out about realism and accuracy. It's just a little bit of fun that just kind of, it's like clawing back a bit of me time. Have you ever done that? You know, like when you do your day job and you get home and you make the meals and everything else, and then you go, me time, what can I do for myself? A lot of people do that, and they stay up late and that because they want a couple of hours of me time. Yeah, and whatever you want to call it, me time, self-care, that kind of thing. I think it's a good thing to have something to do, really. I'd love to be able to sit on my backside and not do anything and just veg out and watch TV, but I can't do that. My brain ticks over. Anyway. That's all for me this week. Sorry it hasn't been incredibly eventful, but hopefully in the coming weeks there'll be a veritable smorgasbord of different things. There's obviously the Borg and the Cyberon and the 3D printing with Marvin and the book and then I've got like day job stuff. There's all sorts of things going on. I will at some point, not yet, but I will at some point tell you about the situation with the WoW film. The raffle for the projector is still on. That hasn't changed, but I'm no longer involved with the WoW film. It's not as scandalous, as horrible as you think. It's a kind of a sensible and mutually agreed thing. But I'll tell you about that when I can. When Danny and Chris have sorted out what they're doing with it, I'll tell you about it then. I don't want to sort of jump the gun. Anyway, that's all for me for this week. I better get on to some work before I fall asleep again. So thanks for watching. Do likey, subscribey, leave a comment if you can. And yeah, sorry the content is crap, but then again, who's not feeling crap at the moment? Anyway, take care now. Bye-bye then.
We are the Borg. Resistance is futile.